This story about this streamer who died over on Kick, and man, did you guys see the story?
No.
Briefly.
Okay,
Seems very sad.
let's go check this out. We got a brief recap here from Asmongold here. Let's see what had how the story went.
Years of physical and mental abuse by his co-streamers. Yeah, this was insane.
A couple of days ago, news came out about a 46-year-old French streamer who died in his sleep. At first, people brushed it off and thought it was due to natural causes, but it soon became clear there was more to the story. The streamer was part of a group that subjected him to what was essentially torture during their marathon streams, often without him fully realizing it. On his final stream, while he slept, donation alerts kept blaring out at loud volume. It took over 45 minutes before anyone from the group bothered to check on him, even as the alerts kept going.
What is this? Can I even watch this?
Ah, mais ça fait pourquoi il parle pas, JP? Il crie pas?
So they put him in the trunk, and then so they're going over the speed bumps really fast. Couldn't stop streaming until finishing a game while being woken up constantly by various horrible methods despite his heart problems. Methods were here. Oh my God. After 10 days of streaming, sleep deprivation, viewers sent donations to wake up the co-streamers because he stopped moving for a while, and the co-streamer's first reaction was to throw a bottle on his face and to slap his corpse. Donations encouraged the bullying, creating a vicious cycle. January, they were in police custody of suspicion of abuse of people. Wait, so these people they were already in police custody for abuse of people with disabilities? You got to put the people that did this in jail. What are we even talking about here? It's not even a question. Like, obviously they're complicit. Well, they're doing it on purpose. I understand, like, you have games like Fear Factor and things like this, but like, it seems like also the guy, he doesn't want to let me. He keeps me from leaving. He's sequestering me. Yeah, I mean, he basically got kidnapped. How did the police not get involved with this? This is awful.
So you can see right there exactly kind of what.
Or does it feel like they're actually?
There we go. So a lot of questions here, ladies. What do you think should be done in this situation to, number one, his co-streamers here? Let's start there.
Death, hang, jail. I mean, for goodness sakes. They blatantly abused this man. He would, like was pointed out, was being held there against his will. Like, the worst of the worst.
I mean, there is talk of the France is investigating this situation here, but Blabs, this is your first time seeing it. What are your thoughts?
If all this is true, because again, there's the due process and everything. This is absolutely disgusting, heinous behavior. However, it is France, so my ideas of justice there not really existent, because France and the justice system's a bit stupid. But I don't know, if this is all true, then yes, they should be in jail. They should be punished severely, yes, because they did lead to someone's death.
Phoenix, you stream, you do all sorts of crazy things on your channel, very super creative. This is not like the idea of these like torture streams is not new. This has been going on for as long as streaming has been a thing, right? You let your audience kind of torture you or whatever. And this is not like go to Olive Garden style torture. This is the idea of, you saw him getting woken up by, a motorcycle, and apparently he has heart issues and stuff. Do you think that this is a jumping off point for just streamers as a whole to be a little more conscious of kind of what they're doing? And I mean, I don't think we've ever seen a guy die on stream in a situation like this.
Well, first of all, I'd like to appreciate you, talking about my channel and torture. That you could just argue that's the content, but no, I hope so, Craig, because one thing that the internet has done, in my opinion, is made everything into a reality show. It has given that producer role to these streamers, this idea of if we keep pushing things, we get more views, and that becomes more important than the well-being of the people around you, of how you behave in society, and it just keeps rewarding that. So this is a horrible situation. Hopefully some good can come out of that, where it's maybe a lesson to 180 this kind of content, because to me, I just find it all gross, personally.
This is there's something to the idea of constantly having to keep escalating what you're doing over and over and over again, right? To the point to where it's going to be so extreme that, you know, the desensitization of what is considered shocking. I mean, we've seen that, you know, exponentially increase over the last few years. And if you go back and you like, I have this pulled up over here, Phoenix, you look at these examples here. This is previously during, you know, different streaming events. This is in 2023, where they are literally just beating the hell out of him on stream, right? And, you know, that's clearly his job on this, you know, I guess you can call it that. He's more or less like the punch monkey, I guess, for this group
I saw
of
one
streamers.
clip where he was sitting there in the middle of all those guys, and like he was just sitting, like looking at the chat, you know, like watching, and out of nowhere, all of them like jump on him and start like choking him out. One of them reaches their hand over and plugs his nose too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he could have died right then. Like they had no boundaries with this guy. It wasn't just like scare tactics. It wasn't just frightening him.
It's. I think this is a big jumping off point, not just for streamers, but for Kick as well. And Kick has gone under a lot of scrutiny for this. I don't know if that's necessarily fair for Kick to be put under scrutiny for this, because there's a lot of people streaming on their platform. I don't know. How do y'all feel about this? I'm kind of mixed on the idea, because, you know, we talk about holding YouTube accountable for things that are on their platform, Roblox accountable for things that are on their platform. I mean, we should do the same for Kick, yeah?
Yeah.
I think all platforms should be held accountable equally. So if something happens, it should be the same type of response everywhere.
Yeah.
Lone Hunter in the chat says they were promoting them. Well, if they were promoting this, then that's a different level of things.
Yeah.
In what way, though? Like, is it an automatic algorithm that just pulls the most popular streams on the front page, or were they actively saying, hey, go watch the stream? Because that's different, too.
Yeah.
If it is automated, though, that does also show the lack of, like, in-person moderation that's going on Kick, because they just allowed those kinds of things to get front page and nobody looked and noticed.
It's obviously a sad situation. And you wonder if there's going to be any blowback just on streamers who attempt to do this type of thing, these shock value streams. But we live in this world where you know, I talked about the desensitization of everything. It's, you know, what truly is shocking anymore? You know, like, so back at when I was at Game Attack, we had this thing where, like, I don't like the song Smooth with Rob Thomas and Santana. It's like my least favorite song. So we had this alert go off, and every time somebody donated a certain amount, the alert would go off, and it was like, oh, we'd be doing something. Oh my God. And especially, you know, like, I think that's harmless, but when you're like, if I was doing that and every time somebody donated, I got punched in the face, like, I think it's a little too extreme.
It's just common sense. Just use common sense.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Annoyance is different than, like, putting your safety in harm's way. Like, you can get annoyed. Be annoyed for your viewers. That's funny. But you don't need to, like, literally hurt yourself.
Right. I think that's the, you know, yes, there is a level of, like, there's something fun to being annoyed, right? And at the end of the day, we are doing it. This is an entertainment show, entertainment platforms, Kick, Twitch, YouTube, they're all entertainment platforms. It's just, you have to, hopefully you don't become a crash test dummy for your audience, if that makes sense. You know, and that's apparently what happened here. And ultimately, you know, this guy's 46 years old. He shouldn't be dying in the middle of a 10-day stream. And by the way, like, how long is too long when it comes to streaming? Like, I saw Kai Cenat just announced a month-long stream where he's going to be live for 24 hours a day. Like, a month long? You're going to be streaming for a month of your life? That seems like a little excessive, right?
I'm confused how they have the, like, ability to do that equipment-wise. Like, mentally, emotionally, physically, there's a lot of questions about that, too. But also, how are you facilitating this? What kind of people do you have in your life? I mean, we know Kai's got money, but, like, what? Does that mean he has a maid and a chef, and then, you know, somebody brings him the water, somebody takes over when he has to go to the bathroom? What do you do if you have to, anything? I don't know. I'm, like, thinking, like, I gotta go do outside of the house things. I gotta go grocery shopping. Like, I'm confused.
Well, so we're planning a subathon coming up in October. Just gonna pull the curtain back a little bit, and but there will be like, it's not going to be a traditional subathon in that the idea that we're just going to go and keep going for 24 hours a day. I'm not doing that. I'm not subjecting everybody to be a part of that, right? There will be a start and stop each day. So it's not going to be like a traditional subathon, but it will be an event. And yes, there will be like annoyances, but I don't ever want to put anybody in any physical harm when it comes to doing this stuff. Like if we get to a point to where we go to like Disney and drink around the world, I'm not forcing anybody to drink, right? If they don't want to, it's not gonna be like, Phoenix, you will down that shot, you son of a bitch,
Yeah.
And maybe for you, Blabs, because everybody wants to see it. But.
Just take a shot.
That's right. Anyways, it's incredibly sad to see. Anytime anybody dies in a situation like that, it's sad. But now there has been, I guess, silver lining to this, as Aiden Ross, whether you like him or hate him, he's come in and said he's going to cover the funeral costs here. Him and Drake, who are Kick ambassadors, Aiden Ross owning a portion of the platform. So he came in and says, "This is horrible and disgusting. Whoever was a part of this deserves to face severe consequences. I just spoke with Drake. Drake and I will be covering the funeral costs. This won't bring his life back. It's the least we can do. Prayers will go out to Jean's family.
Jean's.
Yeah. Kirsha came in, says the streamers who tortured this guy should just be permabanned from for life from all content creation sites, but also in jail for this. As for Kick itself, can these platforms stop fighting for who's the worst for 1 minute? And there's always like the yeah but and the whataboutisms when it comes to this stuff. So what a fucking tragedy. Kay, you got anything on that?
Just very sad. I heard that he was also like a bit mentally disabled as well, and so these people are very clearly taking advantage of someone who wasn't fully able to say no, and it's awful. And yeah, I do think these people should be investigated and go to jail. I think it's completely awful. And behind a computer screen, people just get like really disassociated on both ends, whether you're watching or you're creating the content. And I think it's just a good wake up call to remember that we're all people at the end of the day, and there are real life consequences, things that we do. So yeah, it's just really sad to see. And, I agree with you, Craig. There are things that streamers do that are just kind of like in jest, like fear factor stuff or whatever, little suffer streams. But this is beyond that, and there's different like mediums to it. Like I watch IP2 streamers sometimes. I used to, just like they do like IRL stuff, and Asian Andy. Some people out there might know who that is. I remember Asian Andy did a stream where he like was padlocked, or he was like in a room for 24 hours, and all he could hear was like the TTS pretty much, and he went insane, and he like had a lot of mental things that happened to him after that, and he was like, nope, not doing that again. So like these can have real consequences. It sucks.
I'll say this,
but I mean that one was self-induced. So
yeah, I'll say this. We did we were doing a VR game back several years ago. Well, I was streaming a VR game. I'm not a big fan of VR, but while playing the VR game, I also had headphones in for text to speech or notification sounds, right? And I had never played the game before. And at the time, my kids were really young and one of them was sick. And we were doing the stream at night, and one of the alerts, which once again, I never played the game before, was a child crying in the distance. And so people were sending off this alert, and I just hear this child crying in the distance. And while I'm playing this game with my kids sick at home, like they didn't, when these alerts were put together, they didn't know that my kid was going to be sick, right? The guys I worked with at the time. So no fault to them, but like it very much affected me while I was playing, to the point to where I was like tearing up, and I had to stop playing because it fucked with me so much. Because I'm being a dad at that time. I just got my kid in the back of my brain, and yeah, it really fucked with me for a while. And that was one of those things where I'll stupid, but I'll never forget that stream because it was supposed to be like good and fun. and it always is until it's not. And I'm sure that was kind of the situation with these guys as well. He'll be all right, whatever. So yeah, it's tough. Have you guys ever I think it's one thing to have bamboozled those jelly beans that taste bad. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to just physically or emotionally or mentally just assault yourself for $5 or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So
No, in a very weird, kind of just adjacent way, the way my brain thinks about it is it's like if you're going to price yourself out like that, you're kind of no better than the OF girls because they're selling their bodies for $5 and you're selling your morals, your integrity, your health for $5. And I'm not willing to do that. I mean, I do spicy Saturday streams where my friends and I game and drink. I have just cut a lot of those down for me because I didn't like how much I was drinking because my chat was going crazy. And so now we're doing hot sauce fights and I can handle that better. But it's you need to do what's best for you and not what's best for the buck.
Man, that's a good way to put it. That's an interesting take. The idea of the equivalency of all the OnlyFans models.
Yeah, it's kind of just what I thought about. It's just you're selling something else. Instead of selling your body, you're selling something just as valuable. It's your health, You're whether it's your mental health, your physical health, emotional health.
Damn, dude, bring the heat there, Mally. Good stuff.
Yes, Phoenix.
Anything to close on that from anybody? No. Okay, sounds good.
Be smart when you stream. The end.
Be smart. Yes. John,
says the idiot.
Hey, YouTube said you should watch this video too. Obey the overlords.